Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Flor. I'm a first-time mom in my 30s, living in New York City, right behind me, and working as a full-time content creator. And this channel is a mix of that. I post vlogs about my life here in the city. I also talk about the behind the scenes of being an influencer, like how I earn money and how I work with brands. And I also talk about my life as a first-time mom. If you like any of this, of course, consider hitting the subscribe button down below, hitting the notification bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video every single week. This video, and as the title suggests, is going to be a pregnancy Q&A video, and maybe you're thinking what I'm thinking, and that is that why is there like a new pregnancy Q&A video, right? And trust me, I understand. I didn't think I was going to do a part 4 of my pregnancy Q&A series, but a few weeks ago I posted on my Instagram stories asking you if you had any questions about pregnancy, about postpartum, about motherhood, and actually a lot of you sent in questions about pregnancy. So I was surprised, but also it made sense because there were some questions and some things that maybe I hadn't talked about before, or maybe I have but not in great length. So I selected 5 of those questions, the ones that were asked the most, and I am going to answer them in today's video. I think this part 4 is going to be finally the last pregnancy Q&A on this channel, but I don't know, never say never. I thought part 3 was the last one, and here we are. But anyways, if you want to watch any of the 3 previous videos, they will be linked down below in the description box. And with this introduction out of the way, let's get started with today's video. So the first question that I wanted to answer, and that was asked quite a lot, is how did you find out that you were pregnant, and if you have a video of that moment. I've talked about this on my Instagram stories before, and I mentioned that I found out through a test, and that I think I said that there were no videos, I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't have this like quite big exciting story. I know that maybe for some people this is like a great moment or a great milestone, and they were like filming that and they have their reaction and their surprise, or how they're surprised their partners or something like that. For me, for us, for my husband and I, it was more like a very like chill, normal moment. I was feeling kind of, I want to say unwell, but I've been having like some cramps for like a couple days. I thought I was getting my period, and I just happened to have some pregnancy tests, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do one, but really not expecting a positive result. As I have said before, this pregnancy was something that we planned, or that we thought might happen one day. We've been together for many years. We've been married for some years as well. We lived together, so it was planned that way, but at the same time was like unexpected. Like we were not like actively planning for it to happen at a certain moment. It just happened. So in that sense, it was unexpected. So that's why I don't have any reaction videos. I don't have like anything like special that I did that day. I just took a test and it was positive. I shared it with my husband, and he was like, yep, it's positive. And we're like, okay, maybe this is happening, you know? You never know with a pregnancy, especially in the early stages. You have to be careful, like really anything can happen. So we kind of like took it like day by day, step by step. But yeah, that's basically how I found out. Another question that I got and that I thought was quite interesting was which apps I use like throughout my pregnancy. I am going to do like a whole video talking about all my pregnancy essentials, and that includes products as well as apps. So that's coming very soon on this channel. But I want to answer this question because finding like the perfect pregnancy app, I think was, I'm not gonna say hard, but it takes a while. You maybe like try a few and see which one you like the most, which one you feel the most comfortable with, or which one you think, I don't know, matches like your interest best. And personally, I use 4. I know I'm crazy here. I know most people probably use like 1 or maybe 2 at the most, but I am this crazy person. I had 4 different ones because I wanted to like read at every single step and and every single week I wanted to read more information and as much as I could. So the 4 ones that I was using were called Ovia Pregnancy. Then I was also using the Bump, then What to Expect, and Baby Center. So these 4 apps allow you to follow your pregnancy week by week. They show you like there's like photos of like how your baby is growing or developing, what size baby is that week, like a certain fruit or vegetable, or maybe you learn that your baby is growing their ears this week, or maybe they're growing their feet, or maybe they can see now, things like that. And I like that about these apps, and that's why I would recommend them. I am definitely going to talk a lot more about this in an upcoming video, but yeah, I wanted to share these 4 apps just in case you are pregnant right now or you find this video at a point where you need the apps. Next question was also sent by this same person. Really great questions, I need to say that. And this is if I follow any plan in terms of meals and what I was eating through my pregnancy. First of all, answer is no. But what I would say and what I would recommend if you are going through a pregnancy or if you're thinking about getting pregnant or planning for that is that you really talk about this with your doctor. So when I went in for my first appointment, I was, I think, around 12 weeks or so, and the doctor took my weight. Then they did my BMI, which is like a number which connects your weight to your height. I know that a lot of people talk about this number as being not great in terms of like who developed it and how it really does not reflect your actual health, because it gives you like certain numbers and whether or not you're obese or more obese or something like that. Leaving that aside for just a second, what my doctor did was that she looked at my current weight when I went for this first appointment, and then considering my BMI, she told me, well, I suggest you gain this amount of weight in order to like keep your pregnancy healthy, be able to move around comfortably, be able to do your usual stuff for your baby to be healthy, in order to like avoid any complications and any other things like going wrong. I did that. So I try to like keep the maximum weight to the amount that she told me, and I did that up until the end of my pregnancy, so that was really great. So I didn't follow any like meal plan or anything, but what I would say is that at the beginning of my pregnancy and in the first trimester in general, I think that the appetite usually goes down. You're feeling nauseous, you're feeling kind of weak, tired, so maybe you don't feel like eating much, or you have weird cravings like I just want to eat like a certain fruit or a certain vegetable. And I would say like that first trimester, maybe like lean into that and do whatever feels best for you. You are going through a lot. And then I try to like eat healthier, but maybe just because I was craving more healthy food and I felt like my body was like craving more healthy food. Like, not that I didn't eat like fast food, burgers, fries and things like that, because I did, definitely did, but I was like feeling like the need to eat more fruits, more vegetables, like do actual proper meals, actually stop and prepare myself some lunch, which I didn't usually do, or maybe not skip breakfast, which I used to do in the past, and at least have like a toast with jam. Like, I'm not talking about this like huge breakfast, but like having my coffee, having a yogurt, like having toast with something. I feel like if you can like kind of like follow what your body is telling you, like how you're feeling. If you want, of course, I'm sure you can go ahead and check with your doctor and follow like a certain meal plan. I did like read on some of the things that I should or could be eating in order to have a better and more healthier pregnancy, but I was like more kind of like following what I wanted to eat, you know, rather than following like a strict meal plan. So that would be my recommendation. Mainly check with your doctor and see how you're feeling. Next question that I got and that I thought was a really good one and kind of related to the previous one was, how did I feel through my pregnancy with my body changing? So I feel like overall I felt good and I felt okay in general. I know there's like a lot going on and it can be tough sometimes. It can be tough physically and it can be tough mentally. As I have said many times before, I feel like the first pregnancy is probably one of the hardest because you are just like getting started on this journey. You really don't know what's going on and your body is like forming this like whole organ that will support your baby. So you are tired all the time. You're nauseous most of the time. So I feel like it's kind of tough in a way on your body, and I feel that reflects on your mental health. So personally, I am someone that wants to be like really productive and active during like the normal working hours throughout the week. So being like kind of weak or tired at like 3 p.m. on a Monday was kind of not great for my mental health because I had to like take naps during the day, which of course I had the privilege of doing, so I have to like add that. But I feel like, yeah, it can be tough on your body in a way during this like first trimester and on how your mind is like reacting to this. I would say during the second trimester, even though your body is changing, it keeps on changing, the baby keeps on growing. Everyone says this and it's true. It's like your body and you as a person, you go back to like normal. You are like barely showing and your energy is back. So I feel like during the second trimester, most women go back to like their normal life, their job as usual, or like having fun as usual, going out as usual, whatever you might be like your life. And that was true also for me. I would say second trimester, I was out and about, like going to events, going to meetings, having fun, like enjoying like life in the city. I was definitely not nauseous anymore. I was also taking nausea medication, but in general, I was not nauseous, so that was great. I was not feeling this like exhausted self that I was in the first trimester. I went back to the gym, so that really helped me, which is something that during the first trimester, I didn't have like enough energy to go to the gym. So I feel like this second trimester is a lot better in like many ways. And then when the third trimester comes, most people feel like really heavy. I didn't feel as heavy as most people describe and like talk about. Julia was like a normal weight and size, but for some reason she was like placed in a way that she was like more inside my body than outside, so that's why I didn't have like such like huge of a belly. So I didn't feel this like enormous weight as some pregnant people feel, where like your belly is like falling from your body. But I would say that everything kind of like becomes more uncomfortable in a way. Like sitting in a spot for like many hours is not great. I had some like nerve issues where I would like stand up after sitting down and it would really hurt. Sleeping becomes more hard. So there are like certain things that makes simple things in life not as comfortable as before. But I would say that there were some things that I was expecting, like answering this question. And there were some others that took me by surprise, like heartburn or like gastro issues and stuff. But in general, I think that if you're going into a pregnancy and if you're going into a wanted pregnancy and a planned pregnancy in a way, you are kind of like willing to let your body change, willing to let this baby kind of like take control of your body for a couple months and just like wishing for a healthy pregnancy, wishing for a healthy baby, and just trying to work with what your body is giving you. If you're struggling, I would say definitely talk to a therapist, talk to a doctor. It definitely does take a toll on your mental health. At times it might be easier, some other times it might be harder. So if you're struggling with like your body changing, definitely a doctor will help, or a mental health professional might be able to help as well. And the fifth and last question that I wanted to answer in today's video was, how did I carry this pregnancy being away from family? And as you may or may not know, I'm originally from Argentina. I live in New York City. So all of my family and most of my friends, they live in Argentina. So they're many miles away. And even though some of them were able to travel to New York City while I was pregnant and like spend like a couple of days or a couple of weeks with me, truth is that I spent most of my pregnancy far away from my family and from my friends and only having my husband like by my side. Personally, it was okay for me. I know that maybe for some people you want like more support from your family, more support from your friends, or more people like taking care of you, but I am someone that when I'm not feeling like quite all right, like I was in some parts of my pregnancy, as I mentioned before, I prefer to be far away from people. Like I don't like being seen like sick or weak or anything like that by other people. I know that's for another story, but I really like just being able to share all the things that were happening and all the changes in my body and everything with just my husband. Like I really like that. I didn't suffer it in any way. So this question was like worded more like, how did you manage to go through your pregnancy being away from family? And that kind of like implied that I had a hard time. And actually I didn't. Like being completely honest, I didn't have a hard time being away from family and friends. I really didn't like anyone touching my belly throughout my whole pregnancy apart from my husband. So I know that being close to family and friends would have made that maybe more difficult or more uncomfortable, because I was telling people like, please don't touch my belly, I don't like it. So I kind of avoided that because mostly no one was doing that here in the city or at the events or whatever I was going. So I would say overall it was a good experience. I don't know anything else, so I don't have like another pregnancy to compare it to or another experience or what it might have been like having family around. But I had like a really good pregnancy overall, and with all the changes to my body, as I mentioned before, with the weight gain, with the meals I was eating, with the nausea, with tiredness, with like everything, I was happy to share that with just my husband and Oreo, of course, and just like going through those changes in this like very close little family that we have. I know it might not be the same for everyone. If that is the case, and if you're feeling like lonely or if you wish you had family nearby, my heart really goes out to you. I really hope you have the chance to travel if that is the case, or someone travel and be near you throughout your pregnancy. I know that maybe for some people like being close to your mom or your sisters or something like that through every single month of your pregnancy might be very important. So if that is the case, I hope it happens for you and that it works out for the best. So that is going to be everything for today's video, for this pregnancy Q&A part 4. As I said at the beginning, this is probably going to be the last pregnancy Q&A. At this point, I'm pretty sure I've answered every single question that I could possibly answer about my pregnancy, from like how I found out, how I handle the changes to my body, how family and friends found out. I talked about that in a previous video. I talked about like being scared, like when is the right time to like be pregnant, how to talk it with your partner. So I think I've covered like every single topic that there is to be covered. But if you have any more questions, of course, as always, go ahead, leave them down below in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them down below in the comments. And if not, and if I get like 5 extra more questions that are really good and that I know I haven't talked about before, I might do a part 5. I don't think so, but anything can happen. So that is going to be everything for today's video. As usual, if you liked it, of course, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, leave a comment down below letting me know if you like this Q&A, if you are going through a pregnancy of your own, if you're planning something, if you want to share that. And as I always say, I will see you on the next one. Bye!